been way too cold and
Hello,
in the East
beautiful.
Coast. And on the coldness note, welcome to W.I.L.D, the podcast where we love having inspiring, uplifting, empowering conversations live on air. W.I.L.D, the podcast airs live on Just TV, Meta TV, 24/7 Roku TV, NCG Television Network, JustFM.ca, and SHH101.ca. While the podcast is sponsored by While the nonprofit with the mission of eradicating domestic violence through storytelling, and sponsored by Wild Press and Wild Homes and Gardens magazine. I'm your host, Diana Kouprina, and this evening I'm so honored to welcome back our guest, the remarkable Jay Grayce, who is a published author, poet, storyteller, and a voice of resilience. With a rich background in counseling, broadcasting, and podcasting, Jay has dedicated her life to creating safe spaces for truth, healing, and connection. Jay, welcome to Wow the podcast. I'm so happy to have you, and
Thank
welcome
you.
back. Actually, we love
Yes,
you
this
here.
is my third time. I'm feeling like I'm part of the family.
Oh, you
You
are.
know, thank you. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. I love talking with you and sharing what's going on in my life. So thank you.
Well, I think just to let's just dive into it. I wanted to dedicate this episode to caregiving. We did one last week on caregiving, and I feel like we have this theme for July of caregiving. And I know you're a caregiver. You give so much, but you're also incredibly talented. You have these creative outlets. How do you balance the two?
That's a
Everything you do, actually.
that's a great question, and it's the word balance. It's a great word because I feel like I'm juggling more than balancing. Sometimes the balls fall, and part of the experience is dealing with when things are messy and falling apart, especially with caregiving. As a caregiver myself, I feel that I can be very hard on myself, and um, I expect to be perfect, whatever that means. And life isn't perfect, and especially with caregiving, it isn't. You're actually challenged by the fact that you don't have a lot of control over certain things. You don't have control over your loved one's health. You don't have control over the people who are supposed to care for your loved one, and everything else that falls into that, as well as dealing with life, everyday life issues, finances, work, um, and trying to feel human. And one thing that any caregiver would probably, at one point in their lives, would tell you is that sometimes you feel like you're not allowed to be human, or at least I do. And I know a few people have mentioned that they feel the same way. So I don't have the perfect answer as far as how do I balance it, because I really don't know if I'm doing a great job, but I am doing my best. And if a message that I can give to any caregivers, you're doing your best and give yourself permission, because to realize that sometimes no matter what, things are going to fall apart, and it's okay. Caregiving can be all consuming, and it could be easily something that you just think that's who you are, but you're not. You're more than that. So you have to give yourself permission for that. And that's what I've been doing. It's a process. Uh, I fail horribly sometimes, but most of the time I think I do an okay job in getting it together. One of the things that I have been doing, and I think we talked about this, and I'm just going to touch a little bit, but um, allowing myself permission to do a writing workshop that started
Yeah.
almost a year ago was the beginning of this journey, and it's really been sort of incredible when I really think about it, because it started just as simple as just doing a workshop with Amy Ferris at New Miracle, and that's how you and I
Yeah.
met and connected.
Yeah.
And that was the first time, after caregiving for my husband for almost 5 years at that time, that I said I need something outside of this, and gave myself permission to do it. and that has helped me immensely. So my advice to anyone that's caregiving or consumed with this is give yourself permission to do something for yourself. It's okay to do something for yourself. It actually helps your caregiving because you're not drained as much. You're able
Right.
to
Yeah.
actually be, feel like I said, like a human again. Sometimes I was in auto mode for many, many years, just survival mode. Just
Mm-hmm.
this is what I gotta do. I want him alive. Let's. What do I need to do to keep him alive? That was my only goal, and it's a lot for the nervous system.
Yeah. It's a lot. I mean, I can I can relate as a parent, but I think there's a different another layer to it because there's fear. There's this something can happen, and it's more. I think it's more intensified than just when it comes to caring for a smaller child, making sure they're fed, all
Mm-hmm.
of that. But even in that, you still I realized that I needed to learn how to find and make time for my own self
Of
because
course.
then it's just spinning.
Yes, and it is, parenting is caregiving. You're responsible for this human, for and making sure that they're okay, and not just okay, but happy. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure, and it can be very consuming. I know a lot of parents that are just consumed with their children's life, which is wonderful that you're involved, but you're human and you need time for yourself. You need to take care of yourself. It's like that analogy that they used for when something happens at the airplane and it's crashing. You put the oxygen
Oh
tank
yeah,
before
yes, before you give it to
yeah,
someone,
and
yes.
yeah. So it's really it's true. You can't. I I got to a point in my life about a year ago where I didn't feel I was caring for my husband the way I wanted to, which is not feel exhausted by it,
Mhm.
and that's where I was, I was
Yeah.
at that point where I was just like, I'm drained, I'm exhausted, and I don't know what else I can do. And that was not serving him and definitely wasn't serving me. So yeah, it's a process. But for me, like I said, caregiving, whether it's taking care of your child, especially if people who are single parents, that's another layer,
That is
of
yeah, that is
pressure.
a layer. Yes.
There's another layer there that we have to deal with. So you have to find time for yourself. And I know for me, like I said, just giving myself permission to do a writing workshop, and that led me to connecting with so many brilliant women in that group, and you included,
Oh,
and you were so generous in inviting me to do your podcast, and it had been a while since I did any kind of podcast. So, and I was telling you off camera that I wanted to thank you because doing your podcast sort of got me excited again for podcasting myself. So
oh, I'm
thank
so
you for that.
happy. I'm so happy you were, it gave you that nudge
Yeah, yeah,
to get back into it. And you're podcasting now. You have a few episodes out.
hmm
Let's chat a little bit about that. I'm very excited for you. I want all the details.
Oh yes, yes, yes. I actually just finished a live podcast, so I was running around. It's like I hope
You're
I don't.
back to back.
Yes. So yes. So we do. I co-hosted with Colin Gregory, who is an author and a podcaster and many other wonderful, insane things. And we known each other for almost 20 years, and we're always in and out of each other's lives. He's a character. I love him. And he was telling me he's retired, and so he was like, "I want to do something creative." And I knew I wanted to do a podcast, but it's been a while, so I was like, I don't know what to do. So we were talking, and he's like, "Well, why don't we do one together?" And I was like, "Well, okay." And the first thing I thought was, "Well, I don't want anything serious right now. I just can't handle my life has all the drama it needs, and I don't need anything else. I want something light. I want something funny." And he and I, many years ago, worked on a segment on my show called Comedy Corner. And we had comedians in New York from all over the place, and they would come into our show and do it. So we decided to start something like that again. So we decided to call it No Cry, Just Laughs, because besides our own lives being chaotic, we also live in a very chaotic world at this time.
Yeah.
And between social media and everything, it's so easy to get burned out quickly. All the news, all the doom scrolling.
I was just thinking that doom scrolling, you can
Yeah.
lose hours in a day
Oh,
just doing
oh,
that.
oh my God,
You
it's
fall down this crazy rabbit hole and you look up at the time and you're like, how long have I been doing? What have I been doing?
exactly. It really is. It's scary because I have done it where I'm like, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. What's going on here? For nonsense. I'm about aliens, about everything. The whole thing is falling apart. I mean, I'm like, I need to go to sleep. I need to go to sleep. So we wanted to do something the opposite of that. We wanted it to be an escape. So that's what we've been doing. It's brand new. We started last month. So we had our third guest this evening. And we invite comedians and storytellers that use challenging circumstances and somehow manage to make it funny, which that in itself is a gift and a talent. And we give them the platform so that they can share their stories and their humor with us.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, yeah. And I do have some other projects that I can't go really too much into detail, but I have two other podcasts that are cooking. One for a network that deals with health and longevity and wellness, and one that is really my pet project. It's called Being Social with Jay Grayce, and it's something that I've been always thinking and putting in the back burner. I always look through my Facebook friends or my followers and Instagram, and every time I see something like, "Wow, this person is amazing," and I look at their profile, like I don't know them personally, but they're my virtual friend.
Hmm.
And I was like, well, I would like to spend X amount of time with this specific person and actually get to know them. So, my premise of the podcast is actually contacting almost every person that is willing to be part of it to be my guest and share their stories, whatever they may be. I have like musicians, artists, activists that are in my social media list, and I don't really know them and I want to get to know them. And for someone who hasn't been social very much, this would be a great way for me to connect with them and maybe people can learn from them as well.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I love the brilliance and the simplicity of it because you're so right. I've connected with some really incredible people and I realize I don't know them. How do you really get to know someone, right? You
Hmm.
just sit down and chat with them. You do a little podcast episode and share their brilliance
Yes,
with as many listeners as you can.
absolutely, absolutely. And I'm a curious person. I think you are too. And so I'm always like fascinated with people and what stories they have. And almost if you take the time to actually ask someone, what's your story? First of all, they look at you like, you actually want to hear it? What? Um, and why do you? But when they do, it's there's always something surprising. Even with the people that you know that you think you know, when you
Yeah.
actually get to talk to them one on one, you realize, oh, I didn't know that about you. So it's I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be exciting. I would hope to have you as one of my guests. I think you'll
Oh,
be fabulous.
anytime, anytime. I'm happy to come on any project that you're working on.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
lend my voice, share my voice if I can be of help
Thank
always.
you. I appreciate it. And you are a fascinating woman. You are, and you're very talented. And I think I don't want to put you in the spotlight, but I don't think you like to be on the spotlight that much, do you?
No, honestly, it comes with a lot of anxiety before. I get on it, but at the
Hmm.
same time when I'm in it, I like it. And
Yes.
then when I'm done, I love it. I'm like, wow, I have this adrenaline rush that I can't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
Um,
I get it.
so definitely working through the anxiety. Do you experience any of that?
All the time. Yes. I mean, I have to do like almost like a ritual, before like I gotta prep, then I gotta like not think about it at all because and then it gets too weird, and then I have to prep again. It's a whole weird thing that I have to do. Yeah, it's not an easy thing, but once I'm in it, like you said, it's like, oh yes, why was I being so resistant to it?
Yes, the resistance. I never
Mm-hmm.
understand how that resistance occurs or why it occurs. And it doesn't
Right.
even matter for how long you've been, it just happens.
Yes, yes. And I think, is it a human thing? Like, we do that because like when you were a kid, were you always did you remember being anxious about it? Like if you were doing something fun that you would consider fun, were you always anxious, or as an adult?
I don't think so. Like my earliest childhood memories, definitely not. Um, I don't know if it happened after I moved to the US and like that big switch
Sure.
happened, you know? So that might have kind of, that's when I probably was always kind of
A
on
little.
edge.
Yeah, yeah. And then moving is a huge stressor, and then moving to another country, whatever. That's got to be something major, especially.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I don't, my memories are just so blurry. I was so little.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I was 9, and it's all blurs. But I try to remember the earlier childhood, and I remember just, I love snow. That's I
Mm-hmm.
remember.
Oh.
And I think I just did things without having that resistance. But nowadays, I notice I have, and it can be things that bring me joy, going out with my daughter, leaving the house, something as simple as that, I can still have resistance to.
Yes, yeah, I feel the same way. I totally empathize with you because I I don't remember feeling anxious as a kid. If I wanted to dance, I danced. I didn't think about it. I didn't care if someone was watching me. I didn't care anything. You're just doing it because you like it and you love it, and that was it. And I started thinking about it. I think recently I was thinking about it, like, why is it that, especially when it's something joyful,
Mm-hmm.
that I resist it so much? And it's like, what's going on there? I mean, I'm glad I'm in therapy, but what's going on there?
That's the question. I
Hmm.
don't know. I don't know if it stems from trauma or all everything, and then your system just resists even the joyful things.
Yeah,
I know I personally have a tendency to mute myself or try not to share and just go into
in yourself.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, not,
Hmm.
although knowing that I want to be a part of the community or I want to be talking and I want to be sharing, but something in me just kind of
Shuts
mutes it.
down. Yeah,
Yeah, shuts it down.
yeah, yeah. It definitely, it's definitely trauma based. I mean, I know for me it is, and and I'm great. It's great that we're aware of it, and but the human in me is always like, okay, well, can I get over that and just
Right. Yeah. Can I
enjoy?
just get to the other side?
Yeah.
Is it time? Is it finally my time to just kind of be like, yeah, this is what I'm doing next. And
Yes,
it doesn't consume the whole day.
yes, with like this weird dread. You ever get that
Yeah.
weird dread, like what's gonna happen?
Can I reschedule it?
Yes,
Maybe it wasn't the right day, or maybe I can just step away and I really have to work my nerve up to be like, no, I'm going through with it because, well, there's other people that it involves, and this is not just for podcasting, this is really for anything. And
yes,
I
yeah,
think
I
of like
agree. Yes,
there's
that's
other people that are involved, and they'll be disappointed, and then that kind of helps me get back to, well, I don't want to disappoint anyone.
yes. And isn't it interesting? And why is it that we're not enough to do that for, but we could do it for somebody else. And we start thinking about it, right? And we
It's
start
so
thinking,
much easier to, for my daughter too. It's so
mm-hmm,
much easier for me to cook her dinner than to cook dinner for myself.
yes. And it goes back to caregiving. We want to talk about it. That's what happens when you're a caregiver. You're like, okay, I want to make sure this person eats and is taken care of. They have their medicine. That they do whatever they need to do to stay well.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just completely forget about yourself, and you're like, you haven't eaten. You barely have taken a shower.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And that's not healthy for anyone. And awareness is key. um, but you do need some outside support. You need something, because you can't do everything for yourself. And I know for me, I kind of have, and I have gotten used to doing things for myself, that even when people offer, the first instinct is for me to, I'm okay. No, no,
Oh
it's
yeah.
okay. It's okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
asking for help. I that is so hard. And even when someone says, "Well, how can I help you?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Wait. No, no, no. You don't need to. I'm okay. I don't even know what you can possibly help me with. Like
Right.
I don't know."
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And like I said, this goes for anyone, whether whatever you're going through, whether you're a caregiver or not. It's amazing how we've been programmed to just, whether you're working or you're a mother or a caregiver, just to focus outside yourself, almost like a robot. And we're not robots. We're human, and it's okay to take time for yourself. Whatever you're doing, especially when you're a caregiver and you're taking care of a child, and you're or worried about your finances, whatever your issue may
Mhm.
be, your life issue, you know, you deserve a little joy. And you could say, like, I like financial issues, right? So if you have financial issues, like, well, I can't afford to go outside, and like, I can't afford to have joy. I can't go to a
Yeah, I
movie.
can't
I can do
yeah, it becomes I can't afford
and yeah,
to
and
have joy because if I had money then okay, maybe I treat myself to a restaurant or I would go to a spa
right.
or I would get my hair done. I would do
Mm-hmm.
all these things. Um, but because I can't afford it, I can't do them.
Right. And somehow you're not like worthy. Well, you could do things, I mean, the universal you. We can all do things, simple things, to get us closer to not being in that funk, as I call it, right?
Yeah.
Um, I, 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 I think you read the essay that I wrote about my debacle with the shower rod. Oh
Yes, I
hell!
did. I love that one.
And I had a serious mini meltdown. I mean, I really did. For people that don't know, uh, I live in Florida. It's hot. My AC's not working, and I, of course, decided with my genius that I should start a new project and do my bathroom. It's a small bathroom, but I decided to redo it. And initially, just started with me doing the floors. That was my goal.
Hmm.
And I said, well, I have to do paint it. And then I realized, oh, the paint is not going to work because the walls are textured. Let's do wallpaper. I tried that. That was a whole thing. And then I decided, well, I'll use the tiles from the floor that I bought and put it on the wall as an accent wall.
Tylet. Yeah.
Yeah, tile it. So I said, let's do that because it's textured already, so
Hmm.
it's more forgiving. And then it wasn't sticking properly. I mean, everything that could go wrong did, and and I'm perimenopausal, people. Let's just put it out there. And I just had the worst mini meltdown. It just happened that I took off the curtain rod, and I decided at the end of the day that I was going to put it back so I could take a shower, and it just wouldn't do it. It just wouldn't stick. It just wouldn't stay there. And I spent like 40 minutes trying to do it. Sweat all over the place. I'm cursing. I mean, just a mess. My beloved is in the room with the dogs where it's nice and cool. And he comes out and I'm like, "Could you do this? Maybe you can help me. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe it is." And he's like looking at me completely, like you could tell his face, like, "Oh, this woman is about to lose it." It looked terror in his face, and and it didn't happen. He couldn't help me, and I was like, okay, forget it. Go back into the room. Save yourself for the dogs. It's between me and this effing rod. And I banged it. I lost it. And so yeah, I don't know how we got into this story, but whatever it is, I'm just letting you know. I've been there. It happens, and it's okay because you know what? I had the biggest cry spell. It was tears, and I started crying, and then I started laughing at the same time.
Which is, well, and you kind of need that, right? You kind of need even both.
Mm-hmm.
And I know with myself, when I mute, I can get to the point where the anxiety is so swelled up inside of me that I can't even cry. And I knew if I cried,
As a
it
release.
would help. It would be this release. And then I can
Yeah.
move on to the next thing and be like, okay, I'm going to search for a solution rather than be stuck in that crazy anxious fear
Yeah. Yeah.
mode that
Yeah.
just, it's just like suffocates every inch of your body. And you're like, but if I just released it, I could actually
Move on. You can actually
move
move
on.
because
Or
because it's
if
a
it's,
block.
whatever the situation is, I always
Mm-hmm.
like to believe that there's almost a positive solution that you can come up with, but it never comes when you're in a state of anxiety, and the only
Right.
way you can release that state that grabs hold and can last for days and weeks and kind of really spirals is if you do have that really good cry, and if it
Yes.
followed by laughter, even better. You're just
Mm-hmm.
releasing those emotions.
Yes, absolutely. I laughed because I saw the image of me and I looked ridiculous with the rod and crying a mess. That I just was like, oh my God, look at you. What is going on with your life right now? And I just laughed and it was very healing. I took my shower, got myself together, went and saw my beloved, and I said, I feel better now.
Yeah.
Sure. So sometimes caregivers as well, it's good to cry. I think we judge ourselves really hard too.
Yeah.
I think and this pressure that I think it's more my pressure that I give myself because there are times I've discussed my beloved with him. Like these are my issues. This is what's going on. This is how I feel, and he will tell me, "But I didn't ask you to do that for me." You know,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh my God, you're right. You didn't." I feel like I need to do everything.
Yeah, I understand that. I do that with my daughter.
Hmm.
And it's not that she says, I didn't ask you to do that. She says, but
Right,
I can do it myself. Like,
right,
why
and
are
that's
you
what he's
doing
saying.
this?
Yeah. Hmm.
And
Exactly.
it's just for me to just autopilot.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I'm just doing it. Like, I
Yeah.
still will baby her, even though she's not a baby anymore.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she can, she can do it and she
Yes.
wants to do it.
That's very
Then I'm
important.
in the position of taking that ability away from her because she
Yeah.
wants to do it. That's
Yeah.
part of her growth. And I imagine, for your beloved, if he's feeling better, for him, that's
Exactly
have
right.
a good day. I want to do this. I
Yes.
can do it. I'm
Yes.
not
I'm okay.
incompetent, right?
No, exactly. I'm capable of doing this, and that's something like you said, autopilot. And I think it was been years. He's improved a lot, and I think that's why I'm doing these projects because if I really felt that he wasn't, I probably wouldn't allow
Mm-hmm.
myself
Yeah.
to do these projects. And he would never ask me to not do them. He's never like said, "Oh, well, you can do this or anything." It's me. I put that upon myself. And honestly, when I started the podcast, he was the first one that says, "Yes, do it. Do something for yourself. Do something that gives you joy." And I was like, "Oh my God, it's okay. It's okay." And then I didn't want to do it because I had my own issues.
Right.
But I didn't
Yes.
do it.
Yes. And I can completely understand that. I go
Yeah.
back and forth. I'm like, maybe I should just stop. Maybe I don't need to do this. Um, but I also know that I enjoy it and it's something that I can do, right? And
Hmm.
it's a creative outlet.
It is. And you
gives a
know
little
what?
bit of purpose. And if there's people listening and they're feeling inspired, then wow, that's amazing. Even if it's just one person.
Absolutely. That's exactly how I feel. Exactly how I feel too. And it's very healing for me. It's very
Yes.
soothing, very empowering for me when I do things that I love. And if, like you said, if just one person reaches out and you touch them in some way, um, just reminding them that they're not by themselves, that they're not alone, that they, a caregiver right now may be thinking, oh, she falls apart too. It's not just me. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to receive the help, because asking for the help, that's a huge thing in itself.
Oh
Then
yeah.
allowing yourself to receive the help,
Yeah.
that's a different thing too. You know, and this year I think I'm allowing myself to receive the help. It's very uncomfortable for me.
Mm-hmm.
It just like asking for it is just very uncomfortable to receive it. I just, it's not natural for me. So I have to sort of talk myself through it. Like, it's okay to receive. They want to help you, or else they wouldn't offer it. And it's you like to help people, right? So it's a nice little beautiful dance and flow that allows the cosmic energy to expand, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're all helping each other out when we can. And I personally believe that that's what we're here for in this earth.
Oh, I
And,
agree with you. I think
yeah.
people truly, at the end of the day, really do love helping each other. Um, we might lose that when we're in the fear mode or anxious mode or feel attacked and feel like we need to get defensive. But I think at the end of the day, true joy comes from helping one another.
Absolutely. And we all have a choice, right? I feel like I'm not going to get into religion, but the basis is, we have choice, right? We have free will. And for me, I think we're all here. We can be earth angels, or we could choose not to be earth angels,
Yep.
right? Be indifferent, or be actively putting out hate out there, if that's what feeds them.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, I think all of us have that ability to be earth angels. And one of the things about being earth angels is that it's a ebb and flow. We help one another,
Yeah.
without expectations, just for the act of love, the act of,
Yeah.
here I am, you're in need, I'm going to help you.
Yes.
And then,
I'm capable. I can.
exactly.
Why not? Why not? And I know for me, if I'm helping someone else, it really helps me step out of my own issues.
Yes. Yeah. I think it changes the energy. We're really helping each other on a energetic level when we
Yeah,
do
and
that.
it forms a connection. So you're
Mm-hmm.
connected to this person. And
Mm-hmm.
that feels great because we
Yeah.
want to be connected.
Yeah, that's what we long for. I mean, in different ways, we try different ways to find that connection.
Yep.
Some of it can be very constructive, some of it very destructive. But the goal is that you want to feel that connection and not feel alone, and feel like you have purpose. Because when you help people, right, you feel like, oh, I made a difference, a positive difference.
I have somewhat of a purpose.
Yeah.
I'm not just in this me kind of zone. I can
Mm-hmm.
do things. I have a purpose. I'm a helper.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. But helpers need help too.
Absolutely.
And we have to remind ourselves of that.
And
When
for
we
me that is I want to go back to that
Yeah.
because the more you are a caregiver, I think, the more you are a helper, it is so hard to ask for help and
Mhm.
then be able to receive it.
Yeah, it's true. And so how do we get ourselves into a place of thinking of having to ask for help, right? Because that's hard, just asking for help. And then ask yourself, okay, you ask for help, are you going to allow it? Are you gonna get in the way of that, or are you just gonna allow yourself the space to let that person or the situation come to a place where you can accept it,
Mm-hmm.
and without resistance, without when when people offer their help, I feel guilty. Like I
Yeah.
shouldn't like someone else could probably use it. Why should I? Always something. Like I'm not enough.
I'm not enough. It's not, I don't want to be a burden.
Yes.
You're going through so much. I don't want to add a layer. At the
Everybody.
end of the day, I probably can handle it on my own. Even if you can't, that's
Right.
what goes.
Right. You're always gonna, like, you know what, I managed, and people, but a lot of people have it worse. That's what I always say.
Yeah,
Like,
a
a lot of
lot of
people have it
people have
worse.
it worse.
So why should I even, and no, people are offering, take it, especially caregivers, receive it, and receive it with the love that it was intended by the other party, and by doing that, you're helping them too. Because we are talking about connection, like you said, and we need that. We need that now more than ever. I think we need
Oh, I
more.
agree with you. Yeah.
We need to have a cosmic contract with uh, each other and helping one another, even if it's the smallest thing, and allow it and enjoy it without
Hmm.
guilt, without shame, without blame, or self judgment, and because these things block us from our true purpose. And you and I have discussed our near death experience, or like how I like to call it, the death experience, DE.
Yeah.
And I have to remind myself sometimes, like, girl, you died. You've been through it.
Hmm.
I remember the experience of death, and it wasn't pretty. It was not a great experience dying. The death part was beautiful
Yeah.
after. But so you're not here to suffer. I refuse to believe that that's why I came back. But I have to give myself a chat, like I have to talk myself through it. But most of the time, I'm just like, no, I need to do this, or I feel less than, or whatever. And you know what? It's our time. It's your time,
Yeah.
and life is short. So let's allow ourselves joy. Let's allow ourselves to have a moment for yourself, whether you're a caregiver, mom, single parent, whatever it may be. You certainly have the right to have joy in your life, and it's okay. And I think people really have an issue with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's why there's also a lot of substance abuse and all that, because there's this fear, this feeling innate in us that I don't know how it got there, through trauma, whatever it is, environmental,
Hmm.
uh, where we really are fighting joy, or at least
Yeah.
I am. And I'm working at it, and we're all working at it, and we need support. I'm going to say that again, especially caregivers. Um, I I do counseling, and I have therapy for myself and support groups
Hmm.
for caregivers that I go to. And that's helped me immensely. But one of the things, and again, I'm going to give a shout out to New Miracle
Yeah.
because their community is so amazing that, and I include you in this, that you become my cosmic sister. We're so connected, all of us, in one way or another. And what I keeps me in awe is how genuine everyone is. And
Absolutely.
and I didn't know what I was missing until I had it. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
No, I completely agree with you. I always, it's something I look forward to. And again, I resist it. I try to, but I will always log in. If there's like, if my daughter's not sick, I will always log on because I know I'm gonna feel. great afterwards. Like I really have started learning that like okay, there's this resistance, but throughout it and then after the workshop, like I feel love because it just flows through everybody and it's such an authentic,
Yeah,
honest connection where everyone can just share their stories, their writing. And that is so powerful because most of the time we're so scared to share that, those
it's
missing
very intimate.
pieces. And, to come together as strangers by sharing these stories and to say, oh, wow, I feel like that too. I've been through that. I understand. Like, and just to be connected on that level is so powerful.
Yeah, and I feel like it's such there is a vulnerability, when we share our stories, and it also gives us an opportunity to connect and bond in a authentic, genuine way that I have never experienced in another group setting or any writing community or any community, whether physically or virtually. I have never experienced that kind of genuine kindness and genuine the way you guys make me feel is like I'm honored and respected and loved and encouraged and uplifted and held.
I feel the same way. I'm always in awe and I'm like, how are these brilliant, inspiring women like
I feel the
are
same way.
holding me and telling me that, they enjoyed my writing,
Yeah, which is magnificent. I love
as
your
is
writing.
yours,
Thank you.
you
And,
know.
and, and, and it's not, I'm not, and that's a great thing. It's, I'm not saying it because I know you. I'm saying it because they're great. You just are writing is beautiful. And it could be intimidating if you allow it because sometimes I'm like, I should not read tonight.
Right.
tonight,
Right.
tonight is not the night I should share anything. But no matter what, it's always received with love and authenticity. And so I would encourage anyone, whether, I would say, of course, go to New Miracle if you're into writing and you're into connecting and expressing yourself that way or want to. That's a great way. But if that's not your thing, make an effort to find something, whatever gives you joy, whatever, if you can think of something that made you genuinely smile just for you, go for it. Do research, contact your local community, whether it's some people like cooking or whatever it is. So whatever it is that gives you joy, go out there and do it, and give yourself permission to have joy, and give yourself permission to receive the help when you need it, because there's nothing wrong with receiving help. There's in asking for help, and especially if you're taking care of someone else. If you don't take care of yourself, how well can you take care of someone else?
Absolutely. That's something, I have to remind myself. And it's hard. It's hard to um remind yourself of that and
Hmm.
to say no, I'm doing this for me and to get past that resistance. Um it's it's a challenge.
It is, and it's, if we can take away a little bit of the shame behind it, you know, I think it's that would be a blessing. So anyone that's listening now, just know that you're not by yourself, you're not alone, and that if we can help in any kind of way, you can contact me. I'll Jay Grayce, and it's Grace with a Y, so it's Grayce. I'm on Instagram, on TikTok, I'm on Facebook, and reach out, ask any questions. If I can answer them for you, if I can refer you to someone that can help you in any kind of way, I'm certainly more than happy to do so, because we're not alone. And I think now more than ever, I think we need to reach out and help each other, because if we allow ourselves to be consumed with the doom scrolling, we're gonna just keep falling into that abyss. And
Mhm.
and things, good things are happening too. And it is one of the reasons why I did the No Cry Just Laughs podcast, because I want to give a spotlight to what's going on that's doing good for humanity, doing good things for our world, and we need that because we need balance, and we can't always immerse ourselves in this doomsday kind of living.
And it's so much easier to go into doomsday rather than feel joy.
Yeah.
I know for me, tapping into joy is incredibly hard, but to go into doom world
Oh,
is
effortless.
incredibly easy.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, and it's also incredibly accessible,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Everywhere you can find. Oh, forget it. I mean, I can wake up. There's times I wake up and my husband had just was up earlier than me, and he'll be on watching the news or whatever. And I'm like, "Good morning," and he's like, "Do you know what happened?" And blah 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 blah. And like less than 5 minutes that I've been up, I heard all the atrocities that are going on, and we've become kind of used to just doing that. Like
Hmm.
instead of talking all the good things that are happening or sharing all the good things that are happening, we are sort of forced into focusing on the negative.
Yeah.
And I don't need that because it's very easy for me to focus on the negative. So I'm trying to steer my
Trying to
way.
focus just on the positive. That's
Yeah,
all I want. Just
yeah,
positive flow.
yeah,
Because, I mean, it's healing. If you've been through trauma, if you've been through tough parts in life, it really is healing and really empowering to have that positivity, to
yes,
have that positive reinforcement coming
it,
your way.
absolutely. And there's a term that I heard recently called toxic positivity, where where you're almost delusional, I guess. And everything is balance, right?
It's always balance. Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
You know, for me, I think positivity means more like seeing good, but not necessarily um, trying to, shove it down someone's throat and saying, no, 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 like you have to be light and you have, no, I mean,
Right.
it's just tapping into some sort of reinforcement and tapping into joy that can feel sometimes so, what's the word? Almost feel guilty for feeling it because
Yeah.
it's like, no, I should be worrying about things. I'm not allowed to feel joy because that's when the other shoe is going to drop, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. And especially for people who've had trauma already, because your brain starts giving you reasons why uh,
Mm-hmm.
to fear, or
Finding those patterns.
justifying
Yep.
justifying the means of, like, well, you have every right to, because A, B, and C has happened.
Yep.
So why wouldn't blah 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 happen? And you can just go a downward spiral with that. And I think, for me, like I said, therapy has, well, helped a lot. And keeping yourself as grounded and centered, whatever that means. Um, for me, again, this year has been really about allowance, allowance and permission to have something other than dread, something other than anxiety, something other than scarcity, something
Mm-hmm.
other than,
Yeah.
and just opening that road, and without expectation.
Yeah.
Because I think, for me, expectation sometimes leads to more anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So because I'll be focused on, well, this didn't happen this way. And sometimes good things happen, but they happen in a way that we didn't expect it.
Yeah.
And because we're so focused on how we wanted it to be, that we kind of miss out
Mm-hmm.
that something has happened that's good, but you haven't really focused on it.
You missed it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we did that experiment for the quantum physics. I think we have mentioned in the chat. Remember?
Yes, I was just thinking about the
Yeah.
ducky. Um,
And that's a perfect example of, like, what a great exercise, because I chose the yellow bird, and everybody was sharing. I think you had shared that you got to see some of the things pretty quickly, and I was like, crickets on my side. I haven't seen anything. Nothing. And then, like, I think I put it on the chat, and then less than a few minutes afterwards, I got a meme or a GIF or something texted, and it was the yellow bird.
Yeah.
It took me a second to realize it too. Like I saw it flying. It was Snoopy with Woodstock flying
Mm-hmm.
around it, and I was like, "What is this annoying thing?" And then I just looked at it really well, and I was like, I asked my beloved, I said, "Is that a yellow bird?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's Woodstock." And I'm like, "Oh, I guess that counts." And then I was taking a shower like hours later, and I'm washing with one of my little loofah thing, and it's a ducky. And I've been washing for the past 2 weeks, and I didn't realize it again because I was focused on a yellow bird that was supposed to fly, I guess, in my hand, or I don't know, right next to the windowsill. I don't know what I was imagining, but it wasn't that. But it was there in my face all this time. So I think we do that a lot. It was a great exercise for me because it just reminded me, like, what else have I been missing out on because I didn't um, notice because I was so focused on how I wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the biggest accidents or mistakes can be one of the most beautiful things in your life too,
Yeah.
that are not
Absolutely.
planned, and I think we need to just, I think the word open is powerful. Being open to happiness, to joy, being open to receiving, being open to um, asking for help, being open to the endless possibilities that not everything has to always
Yeah.
be traumatic, not everything has to be awful. And I know it's fear based, and
Mm-hmm.
we can always justify why we can stay there in
Yeah.
that place of fear, and the brain will come up with wonderful reasons instantly of why you should stay there. And we don't, for whatever reasons, whether it's feeling that you're unworthy, not enough, that we feel like we have to stay there. So I would invite anyone to give yourself permission, give yourself allowance to, maybe not everything's gonna suck today.
Yeah.
doesn't have to be perfect, but it doesn't have to be awful either.
Absolutely. And with the last minute that we have, how can people again get in touch with you, hear your amazing podcast? I know I'll be tuning in and listening to it. You're so inspiring. I love you.
I
Thank
love
you
you.
for
Thank
being
you.
here. I
Thank you
love
for
chatting with
inviting me.
you. I hope it's been as healing listening to you to our listeners as it has been for me.
Oh,
You
thank
really helped me get out of whatever funk I've been in, just by having this chat. So I really love you.
I love
Uh,
you, and thank you. Thank you for having me. Like I said, I can't wait to invite you because I want to hear your stories. I want to talk to you. And for anyone that's listening, you can find me at Jay Grayce. Just Google me; it'll pop up. It'll be in my Instagram. Jay Grayce. Grace is with a Y, Grayce. And you can listen to our podcast, No Cry Just Laughs, on Spotify. We're available there. You can find us also on YouTube. So, yeah, I'm very excited for all the projects that I'm going to be doing and all the writing. And I have to take a minute. I know it's the last minute, but I just want to do a little cosmic dance because,
oh, yes.
yes,
Yes, of course.
I said we would, and I will. I miss you, Jade. I wish we could be there at the Quanta Circle, but our spirits are with you, and we're joining you in spirit, and we're dancing our way there. Just thank you. Thank you so much, Diana. I love you so, so much.
Oh, thank you. I love you. Thank you. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in. Please, please just fill yourselves up with love. Really fill that cup up inside of you and let it just flow over to everyone around you. Thank you and have a great night.